second unit of this course will introduce you to law. First, we will discuss the definition of law, and we will compare law with religion and ethics. Then we will mention the major sources of positive law, and we will see that these sources are not the same in all legal systems. Finally, we will tackle the notion of hierarchy of norms, or the pyramid of norms, an important notion in legal studies. Let us begin by trying to define law. As a matter of fact, we can find many definitions of law, and legal scholars are not all unanimous on how to define law. We cannot find a definition that is considered as the correct one by all legal scholars. However, the definition I will suggest is the following. Law can be defined as a system of rules issued and sanctioned by the state or by the competent public authorities, aiming to regulate societal action or societal interactions. Let's break down the definition. First, then, law is a system of rules. What is a rule? A rule, by definition, is an order, is a normative instruction or a normative proposition telling us to do something or forbidding us from doing something. Rules are not found only in law. In religion, in ethics, in grammar, in mathematics, in physics, rules are everywhere. And all rules, regardless of their field, are composed of two elements. A hypothesis, telling us which is the domain of application of the rule, or the conditions of application of the rule, and then we have the consequence. What will happen if the hypothesis is concretized? Rules also have to be understood as a system, have to be understood and interpreted as part of a system, because rules do have relations among each other. A rule cannot be applied alone, regardless of other rules. And a good application of law requires that every rule is interpreted and applied in such a way it is harmonious with other rules to avoid contradiction. Here I will give you a few examples on the structure of rules. We said that every rule contains a hypothesis and a consequence. In the field of law, Article 400 or 547 of the Lebanese Criminal Code. Anyone who intentionally kills another person shall be punishable by hard labor. So the hypothesis here, in the situation, the condition of application is that someone intentionally kills another person. What will be if this happens? And if this hypothesis is concretized, it becomes a concrete situation, what will happen? It will be the person will be punished by hard labor. If you want, it is a kind of if-then reasoning, hypothetical deductive reasoning. And if something happened, then this will be the consequence. The same in ethics. You can read the example and comment it yourself. Also in religion, also in grammar. All right, think of any rule you can think of. It will be formed of these two elements: a hypothesis, then a consequence. The second element we find in the definition of law is that it is sanctioned by competent authorities. Now, the first element we just discussed, being a system of rules, does not allow us to distinguish law from religion or ethics, because all of them are a system of rules. So let's see if this element will allow us to distinguish law from other fields. Now, these rules are sanctioned. In a way, every rule is sanctioned. Can we really conceive of a rule, or can we really think of a rule which is meant to be applied, right? Which is in order, without a sanction? Now, sanctions may differ. Sanctions may differ. When it comes to law, legal rules are issued by competent authorities. The main institution, at least in our system, in the Lebanese system, is the parliament, the legislator. The legislator in Lebanon is the parliament, and the parliament votes and passes laws. So the major source of law is the parliament, of legal rules. Okay, so legal rules are usually passed by the parliament. The executive, such as the Council of Ministers, may also sometimes, will often also create legal rules via administrative acts, such as decrees, al-marasim, decrees, or decisions, al-qararat, in French, arrêté. Okay, so both legislature and the executive are competent authorities, are competent state authorities to issue or pass laws. The judiciary will make sure that these laws are applied correctly. These rules are sanctioned also by state agencies. The judiciary, you already mentioned that. So if I don't apply a rule correctly, if I don't apply it, I will be judged by the state judge, and I will be punished by state authorities, state agencies. Now, some people may argue that this view or this definition of law is too extreme, is too statist, because it relies on the state. And they may argue that not every rule of law does come from the state, which is partly true. We will later on see that customs, al-a'raf, are also a source of law, even though they are not brought by a state authority, but by the people themselves. I mentioned that sanctions may be of different kinds. So in law, usually, sanctions are set by judiciary judgment and are applied by legal enforcement agencies. However, in ethics and religion, sanction may be something else. Pause the video and read the table. Finally, law aims at regulating society, or societal interaction, or societal actions. So the goal pursued by law is different than the goal pursued by ethics or religion. Religion mainly tells us about God and our relation with God. It may also tell us how to behave with others. It may also tell us how to govern a state. Some religions do tell us how to govern a state. But the main purpose remains, which is to tell us about God and how to create a relation with God. Ethics tend to make us better individuals, at improving us as individuals, and of course, consequently, improving us as a society. However, in law, this individual aspect does not matter much as long as it's not exteriorized. My internal feelings and thoughts and my internal disposition does not concern the law. The law is not concerned by my internal disposition. The law cares only when my actions will disturb societal peace, and general security. Okay, so security, stability, peace in society are the objectives of law, the ultimate objectives of law, to regulate society. Also, you can pause the video and read the following table comparing between goals of law, religion, and ethics.